Welcome to Gamer Ability. I'm your host Sixpenny, and in today's video I'm teaching virtual golfers how to compensate for different ball lie angles in PGA Tour 2K21. So after this video you will know how to aim based on whether your feet are below the ball or above the ball. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you stay up to date on all of my new videos. Stay tuned and enjoy. So let's start with the basics of how different lie angles affect a shot. So as we look at the ball position relative to the golfer's feet, if the golfer's feet are below the ball, for a right-handed golfer, the ball is going to pull to the left. So I would need to compensate by aiming to the right. Now for a left-handed golfer, it would be the opposite. The ball would actually go to the right, which would be towards the golfer. So you would need to compensate by aiming to the left. Now, if the golfer's feet are above the ball, it would be just the opposite of above. And I'll show that in a later slide. What I recommend, if you've watched my wind tutorials, you have the wind aim multipliers, you need to compensate the aim for the lie angle before you apply your aim corrections for the wind. That's kind of my order that I always go with as a rule of thumb. Now keep in mind, there are many different lie angles in the game. I'm going to break them down into 4 different color categories and speed categories. So in this tutorial, I'm going to provide you with different ranges and averages for aim compensation so that you can get closer. So these are the 4 categories that I use for my lie angles. So we have the green category on the left. Right next to it, we have the yellow and orange category. To the right, right next to the yellow, that's a true red, and then we have our extreme red example. There's so many different types of extreme examples in the game. So how do you view the grid lines in the game in the first place? So there's a picture in the difficulty settings. You need to turn on the lie grid. Keep in mind, you can have both the lie and grid grids on for TGC Tours tournaments, the exception being if you want to play in the True Sim Tour, in which everything is turned off. To see the grid lie angle before your shot, you need to hold down the shot shaping button to view the lie grid lines. This could be different on whatever controller you're using. On the Xbox One controller, it is left bumper. So now let's move into the data. This is similar to the other charts that you've seen if you've watched my wind tutorial videos. If you haven't watched those, I highly recommend that you watch those so you can put everything together. Now, if you do use these data sheets, take screenshots, anything like that, make sure you tell people where you got them from and that you show your support by liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. As we look at the data tables here, you have the clubs grouped together, so woods and hybrids are grouped together, irons and wedges. I include the ranges in the middle because there's different types of green. Sometimes the lie looks like it's more sloped. The grid lines are moving quicker. Other cases it's slower. So that's why I have the range for you. I usually go with the average numbers. It's easier to remember. It's easier to go by. And you're going to be pretty close using the averages. And I'll go over, if you haven't watched my wind tutorial video, I'll go over what the flicks is at near the end of this presentation. It's basically just a quick flick of the stick. So then we have yellow and orange here. Now, the lie angles for yellow and orange have the greatest variability. I mean, look at the ranges between 6 and 20, 6 and 15. But the averages, you should be pretty close. There may be some examples. If you see it moving faster, you will know that you need to use the higher part of the range instead of using the average. So let's move on to the next categories. We have the red, then extreme red. Look at the ranges for extreme red. There's so many different red extreme examples in the game. It can range anywhere from 30 clicks to 60 clicks. I use the average 45 Usually these shots are so unpredictable, it's very hard to figure out if you need to be at the lower part or higher part of the range. So I usually just use 45. So now we're moving into chipping, splash shots, flop shots, and pitches. So as we look at the green lie angle, it really doesn't affect a chip very much, or really splash, flop, or pitch. 1 to 2 flicks. So we move into yellow lie angles. There's a little bit more of a range variety, so 2 to 9, just like we saw with normal shots. But I would just use the averages. You're going to be close with the averages. Then we move into the red lie angles. So chip, average of 5 flicks, which is not too many, but there are some cases where it hits that 10 of the range. And then the extreme lie angles, you don't encounter these very often, but you will encounter these from time to time. So that's all the information. You have all the numbers now for wind aim multiplier. You have all the numbers for the ball lie angle now. So how do I use this information? So if the golfer's feet are below the ball and you're a right-handed golfer, the ball is going to come off to the left. So I need to compensate by aiming to the right using the numbers from the table. And I'm going to go over video examples at the end of this presentation. Now, if the golfer's feet are above the ball, if you're a right-handed golfer, the ball is going to push to the right. So I need to compensate by aiming to the left using the numbers from the table. So for example, say the golfer's feet are above the ball, it's going right, and I'm hitting a red lie angle chip shot. So I need to aim, since the ball is going to go to the right, I need to aim 5 flicks of the stick to the left. So what is a quick flick of the stick? If you didn't watch my wind aim multiplier video, make sure you check out that video though, so that you need to put both of this information together to know where to aim it. A quick flick of the stick is you're just going to quickly flick the stick as quick as you can. It's going to click, it's going to hit the side, and then you're just going to let up. Same thing to the left if it's to the left. Very quick and let up. That's what it sounds like. It's very quick. So let's start with the first example here. So the first thing you're going to look at is the golfer's feet in relation to the ball. Are the feet above the ball or are they below the ball? In this case, the golfer's feet are above the ball. Now, just like I said in the PowerPoint, the slides earlier, you can look at the angle by using shot shaping. So if you hold down LB, you can actually see the grid. So this is a green grid. If you see many examples of green grids. Some of them are very slow moving. The ones that are so slow moving, it doesn't really affect the ball very much. So you really don't have to compensate for those. Maybe 1 click. But this is what I classify as a green slope in which you do have to account. You do have to compensate. In this case, my feet are above the ball, so it's going to come off to the right. So even in TGC Tours, you can have the grid angles on, and you can have the green grids on as well. So you'll be able to see these. If you remember from the slides, the green range for irons and wedges is between 4 and 6 clicks. So I usually pick the middle. I usually pick 5, the average point. So I need to move 5 clips to the left to compensate. That's 5 clicks. Let's hit the ball and see how we did. Okay, so we were right on. So 5 clicks was perfect for the wedge there. So that is a green grid. The green that are so slow moving, you don't have to compensate for. So this example is where the golfer's feet are above the ball. So that means if I hit this shot, the ball's going to move to the right. So I need to aim to the left to compensate. So hold down LB, open up shot shaping so we can see the grid angle. So this is basically a yellow grid line. I call this a yellow. So it's basically, if you look at it, it's really changing from, it's between yellow and red, orangish color, but it plays more towards a yellow than it does a red. So yellow, from the numbers I showed you earlier, had the greatest amount of variability. So with yellow, I usually use the average of 8 with any club I hit. So I'm going to aim around 8 clicks with the 5-wood to the left. So quick flicks, 8 clicks. Now I'm going to hit the shot. We got very close there. So it really played more closer to the 6 than it did the 8. But still, using the average 8, knowing that it's the category with the most variability, we were still very close. In this shot, we're looking at a 5-wood that's around 234 yards away. So as we hold down shot shaping button, we can look at our line. So that's, I would classify that still as a red. It's not an extreme red. And so this is a red. So let's look at the chart. The chart for woods and hybrids range between 18 and 25, but average flicks between about 23. So I need to aim about 23 clicks to the left. Okay, so 23 clicks. Let's hit the shot. Looks like it's going right at it. A little bit to the left. We need to aim actually a little more right of the hole there because of the sloping of the green, which I wasn't counting for that right now in this video. Nice. Still, aim was very close.
27 feet out.
So now let's move into a more higher lie angle. So in this case, we're 146 yards away and we have an 8-iron that I'm going to hit for the purposes of this example. So first thing you're going to do is look at the lie angle. So we can see just by looking, the ball is above the golfer's feet. So that means when I hit this shot, it's going to pull the ball to the left. So I need to compensate by aiming to the right. So what I like to do is hold down LB. I can actually look at the grid angles here. We can see it's very rapidly moving and red in color. So based on the numbers I showed you in the slides earlier in the video, red for irons and wedges was between 16 and 20. So I need to move this about 16 clicks to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then let's hit it and see where it lands. So all I'm concerned about right now, not about distance, I'm seeing is it landing close to the flag point. And we did. We got very close and had a nice roll, even though that's not what I was going for at the shot, but it turned out really well. But the aiming was on. So in this example, I wanted to show a longer pitch shot. So where the ball is lying, it's actually on a green, but behind it, it looks yellow, but we're going to play this as a green. So if we look at the average pitch, it's about 2 flicks of the stick. So I need to aim 2 flicks to the right. Almost right on it. So let's look at an example of a chip shot here. So as we hold down our shot shaping button, the ball is lying. So this is really between a yellow and a green. But I'm going to play it as a green because where the ball is lying, it actually looks like more of a green angle right here. So as we look at the green angle or average with chipping, the average is about 1 flick. So I need to aim about 1 flick of the stick to the left. Here. So let's hit the shot and see how we did. We were right on it. I hit it hard, but I wasn't going for distance there, just showing the line. So this example is an extreme red lie angle example. So in these cases, these are the rare instances. So this is an extreme red. So it's not our normal red that you've seen in this video. You can see that this one is moving a lot faster. So in this case, these are the extreme examples where you will have to use bigger numbers. I've seen these range anywhere between 40 clicks and up to 60 clicks. So if I approach this shot, I can see it's moving. I think this is at the high 60 mark. So I'm going to aim 60 clicks to the left. I recommend you count 10 at a time. Makes it easier to keep track. Okay. So that was about 60 clicks to the left. I overdid it, so it was really about 55 clicks, but still we got very close. It's a really good shot. On those extreme examples, it takes a little bit of finesse with it. So you have to either pick the higher end of the range, pick the lower end of the range, or pick the average from the chart. Now you have all the tools that you need to become a better virtual golfer. But it's a matter of putting everything you've learned through my tutorial series together in a round. So my next tutorial series will be putting everything together through full hole tutorials using all my data, going through each shot type. I will also be doing some tutorials on chipping, pitching, and other things like that. I've also received some requests to do a tutorial specifically on the TGC Tour settings and using my mechanics on those settings, and I will be doing that in the future as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial series. There will be more tutorials to come, and make sure you check out the career mode series because I use all of these mechanics in those videos as well. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and keep coming back for more content like this and to improve your gamer ability.